Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be PK Orcust. Now this deck is absolutely busted. I have no idea why this deck is so good, but like it has the most crazy end boards you've ever seen. Like everybody's going on about how a virtual world can set up VFD. This deck can set up VFD, Dragoon, Bardiche, and 2 more negates. That's how crazy this deck is. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Starting things off, I play 3 copies of Gearsu the Orcust Mech Knight. Now this card is basically one of your combo starters. You have 2 starters in the deck in terms of Gearsu and Torn Scales. So Gearsu is mainly for ditching cards. You can send a World Legacy or Orcust from your deck to the graveyard. Then if there are 2 or more cards in this cards column, it's treated as a tuner. That never comes up. If you control no other cards or no other monsters, you can special summon 1 World Legacy token to both players' field. So this is actually really good. It's a great way to start your link climbing. And really, like, this is what makes this card good. This card is basically like a combo in itself. Like, there used to be plays that you could do with it, like you could set a card, normal summon this, switch control, or give your opponent a token in the column, then it's treated as a tuner, then you get another token, then this is treated as a tuner, of course, then both players get a token. And then you're able to link off into like a Hakla Fibrax, which well, you'll link off into a Link Karibo, then a Hakla Fibrax. But the point is that this card used to be like a 1-card combo, but now we don't really have that luxury, so you have to have a few more extenders because we don't have Link Ross, but it's still really crazy the way this card can pop off. I play 3 copies of Orcust Nightmare. This card is super busted. Like, okay, so the reason that Torn Scales and Gearsu are 1-card or are almost 1-card combos is just mainly because you can ditch Orcust Nightmare. Because Orcust Nightmare is really good. So what you can do is if you can get Nightmare in the graveyard, you can pop off really well. So let's say you normal summon Gearsu, ditch Nightmare, use the effect of Nightmare to banish it to send World Wand. Use World Wand's effect to banish Wand, special summon Nightmare. Link both of them off into a Galatea. You can go into a Dingirsu, end your play right there. That's just like a minor combo, and Dingirsu is really busted, but the whole point is that this deck has just so many plays that it can do that it's just busted. I played 2 copies of Symbol Skeleton. This card is one of your main combo pieces. So you can banish it from the graveyard, then target an Orcust except Skeleton, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Dark. Now, mainly the reason I cut out the Mech Knight engine was because I did not like it because of just how much it clashed with the Orcust part of it. The main idea with the engine was that you did your Mech Knight plays first, then you did your Orcust plays secondary, so that way you can get a bunch of plays. But the problem is that just clashes way too much, and half the time you end up putting yourself in the corner. But 2 Symbol Skeleton is pretty good. You don't want to play it at 3 because this card can brick pretty often. If you draw into too many of your Orcust cards, like if you draw into too many Nightmares, like drawing into 1 or 2 Nightmares is fine, but if you draw into a lot of Nightmares, or if you draw into a lot of your actual Orcust monsters other than Gearsu, you're basically gonna have a brick. I play 1 copy of Brass Bombard. This card's mainly for unbricking my hand. So, like, if you get, like, we have so many cards that can get Orcusts in the graveyard that this card is actually pretty good just to ditch. So the reason I only played it 1 copy is just because it isn't as good as any of the other Orcust cards. Like, Nightmare sends everything else in the deck, but and Skeleton revives your cards, but like Brass Bombard, it kind of goes neutral. This card just special summons an Orcust from the hand, and it isn't as good as any of the other Orcusts, but it's a solid one of, to me at least. I played 3 copies of Phantom Knights of Torn Scales. This card's like straight up busted. Like, this card is a 2-card combo. You have this card and Orcust Nightmare in your hand. You basically summon VFD, Dragoon, and Bardiche with a Fog Blade on the field. Like, it's that crazy. You can discard 1 card, send 1 Phantom Knight from your deck to the graveyard except for Torn Scales. Then if another Phantom Knight card is banished while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. So that is busted. The reason I say that is because, so mainly your play is going to be like, say you have Torn Scales and Nightmare in your hand. You normal summon Torn Scales, discard Nightmare to ditch Ancient Cloak, banish Ancient Cloak, search Boots. Special summon Boots with its effect, go into a Cherubini, use Cherubini to ditch Symbol Skeleton because it's a level 3. Then you can banish Silent Boots to search a Fog Blade, set the Fog Blade. Then since it was banished, you get to special summon Torn Scales, link that off into a Bardiche, use Bardiche to ditch like maybe another Torn Scales, because you need to send Phantom Knight's monster as cost to search Rank of Magic launch. Then you have a lot of plays based off of your extenders, like, because you already have an Orcust Nightmare and a Symbol Skeleton in your graveyard off of that play, so you already have combos to do. So you could like banish a Nightmare, add or send a World Wand, banish Wand, summon Nightmare. Then like you can link those off, use Skeleton. Like, there are just so many plays that you can do. It's busted. Of course, 1 copy of Ancient Cloak and Booties, 2 copies of World Wand. This card's basically mandatory in Orcust. Like, this card's really, really good as an extender. It's just really good mid-combo when you just need another card to buffer your field. It's crazy. I play 1 copy Armageddon Knight and 1 copy Dark Grepher. I'm thinking about cutting Armageddon Knight just for consistency's sake, but the more cards I can get in here, the less chance I'm going to draw into my bricks. So the thing is that Armageddon Knight is pretty good just sending a dark monster, but mainly my plays are with Dark Grepher because it can special summon it by discarding level 5 or higher, which is mainly going to be your World Wand and Nightmare, which I do a lot. Like, I had a game yesterday where I drew into Dark Grepher and a bunch of Orcust monsters, and I thought I had bricked, but I was able to unbrick with Dark Grepher sending 2 cards, and that was crazy. Correction, sending 3 cards, because I drew into a bunch of Orcusts, so discard 1 card to summon it, discard another card to send another card, which is crazy. This card is actually really good. Like, it might seem like a -2 in card advantage, but the thing is that this card's busted. Like, this card is absolutely amazing. I played 1 copy of Danger Nessie. This card, along with Sukino and Jackalope, make up the Danger engine of the deck. It's mainly for Cherubini plays. Like, I don't really play it for any other reason. So, of course, you need to play Jackalope. Jackalope is really good. Plus, Jackalope and Sukino are dark level 3s, so that means you can actually use them for Cherubini. Like, the fact that they're dark doesn't come up a lot, because mainly if you're going into Cherubini, you're at the start of your plays. Once I drew into a Danger Jackalope, I revealed Jackalope and was able to special summon it, and I drew into an Ash Blossom. Can you believe that? I went full combo with Danger Jackalope and Ash Blossom. Like, that's how crazy this deck is. You can get 2 level 3s on the field, you got full combo. I played 2 copies of Nibiru. I don't care what anybody says. Nibiru is busted. Most people are playing Dinos, or most people are playing, of course, Dinos have Misk, but, yeah, I have depression because of Misk. But, like, a lot of people are playing combo decks. Virtual World, this kills Virtual World hard. there's Drytron. Drytron is a bit more of a loose cannon because a lot of the cards, if they get tributed, they actually gain advantage. So that is an issue. But like the thing is that it's a combo deck. You can play Nibiru and it'll be fine. But like they have recovery too, which is why we side deck for them. But like the only deck it mainly doesn't work against is Eldritch, but even then, most decks are playing like Zoo Eldritch or Invoke Dogmatica Eldritch, which do summon more than 5 times per turn. I play 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This card is busted in this deck. You can send Nightmare, go full combo. 1 copy of Rhoda. This card is amazing, searches your Torn Scales, and is really just a combo starter. It's funny, I actually drew into so many starter cards that my hand was terrible. Like, I drew into a Rhoda, 2 Torn Scales, 1 Gearsu, and like, I think an Ash Blossom, and it was terrible. That was... See, it was sad because I drew into all my good cards, but the problem is there were only good cards in my hand, and I only had starters in my hand the whole time. It was really sad, but I was still able to go full combo because I could search booties. I played 1 copy of Upstart for consistency. Like, sure, I could cut out Upstart because it's a 42 card deck, but like mainly I do it because I only activate Upstart if I really need it, because like the more cards I can get in the deck, the more cards I can have as a buffer for not drawing into my Red Eyes package. So the thing is that if you hard draw into your Red Eyes package, you can't really do anything to it with it. I actually drew into Fusion a lot, like a lot. Like, I don't know why, but you don't want to draw into your Fusion, your Magician, or your Dragon. So the thing is that having Upstart as just a 1-card buffer, if you don't want to draw into it, you have the option to draw later if you really need it, but it doesn't really matter if you play Upstart. I play 1 copy of Babel. This card's really good. This card is busted. Like, this makes all your Orcust quick effects. I'll read it just for larfs. You can activate the effect of an Orcust monster in your graveyard, or if a Link monster you control with Orcust in its original name as a quick effect. So during the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, add this card to your hand. It's got recursion, it's easy to search off a Galatea, like you don't even blink an eye, bat an eye when you search this card. It's amazing. Plus, if you hard draw into Babel, you still have a bunch of plays. Plus, you can use Galatea to search return just to get another Pot of Greed. Like, this deck has consistency cards to cover up its consistency cards. I play 2 copies of Orchestrated Return. You really only need it at 2 copies because it's a hard once per turn. You don't want to brick with it. Like, I've been learning a lot about Orcust recently, and now I'm actually understanding what I did wrong with my first profile. Like, my first profile sucked. I play 3 copies of Allure. This card's busted in this deck. It doesn't gain you any advantage, but you play so many dark cards that it really doesn't matter. I play 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Rank of Magic Launch. This is how you get into VFD, and it's mainly your best card in the deck. I play 2 copies of Fogblade and 1 copy of Shade Brigandine. These cards are mainly extenders slash negation separately. So really, your main plays are either going to be to search a Shade Brigandine if you really want to extend further. Shade Brigandine could be a great way to go into a Dragoon, just because you can link it off into Link Spider and then use like a Torn Scale that you have on the field to both go into Verte, or yeah. But like, you have a lot of plays that you can do, and Shade Brigandine is a great extender. On top of the fact that Fogblade is just a great negation card. Like, it's... Think about it. You have Dragoon on the field, which sets up 1 negation. You usually have about 1 to 2 cards left in your hand. You might have an Ash Blossom in your hand. That's 2 negations. Then you have a Fog Blade on the field. That's 3 negations. Then you have VFD, which is a Floodgate, which is Psycho, and that's like 5 negations. Like, seriously, you got so many combos that it's just crazy. Then I play, of course, the Dragoon package. You need to play it in this deck. It's a great card for this deck, and I don't see it getting hit on the ban list. Despite how toxic it is, it's not going to. Going into the extra deck, play 1 copy of Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avermax. This card's amazing. I don't know why people stop playing it. Like, oh, access code is better. Shut up. This card's amazing. Like, seriously, this card's great. It's great if you just need a Link 4 to go into. Plus, it only needs 2 cards. Special summon from the extra deck, which is easy to do in this deck. I played 1 copy of Access Code for other OTK options. 1 copy of Cherubini. This card's a great great play starter. Slash continuer. I'm really thinking about cutting out like Nightmare Unicorn in place of another Cherubini just because of how busted it is. Like, it's that good. I play 1 copy of Rusty. This card's another combo piece and is really important for the deck. 1 copy of Verte Anaconda because Dragoon. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn. I was playing IP Masquerena, but I wanted another spot to put another card. I played 2 copies of Galatea and 2 copies of Dingirsu. Had to put those together. Galatea is really busted. Like, mainly, if you have nothing else to do, if you have just absolute nothing, you can just search a Galatea, or you can just summon a Galatea, go into Dingirsu, boom. I was actually thinking about playing Crescendo, but I really didn't need another card that would brick up my hand if I hard drew into it. So, like, Galatea, great to search out Babel. Hard draw into Babel, search out Return. It's amazing. This card is just busted for the Orcust deck. 2 copies of Link Spider. This card is mainly just to get Shade Brigandine and the tokens that are summoned off of Girsu off the field. I played 1 copy of Link Kariba for the Girsu stuff, because I just wanted another name to put in here. I played 2 copies of Dingirsu. This card is amazing. It's like the unbeatable dude. It sends cards, it attaches banished cards. Literally, if it's special summoned, activate these effects. It doesn't need to be special summoned from the extra deck. So the thing is that you have combo plays like you would not believe. So let's say you have Rank Up Magic Launch on the field. You go into Dingirsu, easy. You send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard. So then what you can do is you can actually link this off and another card you have into a Verte Anaconda. Then you can banish a symbol skeleton from the grave, summon back Dingirsu, have since it has no material, you can use a Rank Up Magic Launch, but you're not gonna do that, because then what you can do is you can actually use Dingirsu just as another pop for your Rusty, and then you get during your opponent's turn you can go into VFD, or you can do it during your turn. It doesn't really matter. Speaking of which, 1 copy of VFD. This card's busted. God tier. Deserves to be banned, but still isn't. So the thing is that when VFD gets hit, I'm going back to this 1 card. This card is busted. So, Heart Earth Dragon. Heart Earth Dragon. So mainly the reason I say play Heart Earth Dragon if VFD gets hit is because this is literally the 2nd best card, maybe next to Drab Blue On, but that isn't really important for this deck. So let me just read this effect real quick. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. So it reflects battle damage, that's good. During your opponent's end phase, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Banish all cards your opponent controls that were normal summoned, special summoned, or were set this turn. So really, the only cards that don't flat out get banished are the monster, or the cards that were activated, like the face-up spells or traps. If this card's busted, then if this card is destroyed by battle while it has exceeds materials, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, then it gains 1,000 attack for every card that is currently banished. This card's amazing. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's, wow. It has renewal. It can gain like millions of attack. It can't be destroyed by battle, so your opponent has to out it with something else. And realize it said, if this card's destroyed while it has exceeds material. So like really, you just need to save one exceeds material from this card, and then your opponent's dead. But that is an alternative for VFD if VFD ever gets hit, which it probably will. Konami, please hit VFD. Like, it helps my deck, but please hit VFD. And one copy of Dragoon. Like, this deck is toxic, like, as everything. Like, I have raised my ranked score by over 2,000 in a single day because of rage quits. Literally, I summoned VFD and Dragoon consistently enough that everybody just rage quits. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the deck. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about the deck. Would you change up the Phantom Knight lineup? Would you put in that other Phantom Knights, the Shin Guard ones? Would you change up the Hand Trap lineup? Would you cut out the Dangers? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.